It's been a strange couple of weekends, the last 2 weekends for the Austin Bruins. Some Friday night troubles with a overtime loss against Watertown 2 weeks ago, and then a 5-1 routing this past weekend. But then back-to-back Saturday night shutouts for the Austin Bruins as they roll into another weekend on the road against the Aberdeen Wings this upcoming weekend. This is the Austin Bruins Coaches Show. Hello, everybody. David Coyer joining me once again for his second appearance here on the Coaches Show. Robby Murray, he's excited as ever. This is now, interview number 3 in your career?
Yeah, I guess technically including that goal line.
The goal line to goal line. Because the last time you were on, you said that it was really only the second time you'd been interviewed, and you did a great job. You did a great job. You got positive reviews from the people in the office. I technically didn't look at the comments on YouTube,
so maybe that's a good thing.
So I think I might have seen someone, Don Murray, said something about get him off my screen or something like that.
I was gonna say my mom loved it. I guess she was lying to me.
But and then you got the thumbs up from Coach Howard. So that's really he trusts you now to do the Coaches Show.
Yeah, him and the mom are the important ones. If they approve of it, then I'm good.
Then we're all set. But as I mentioned, it's been a strange couple of weekends here for the Bruins. So you're here to kind of break down what's been happening and looking forward to the Aberdeen Wings this upcoming weekend. Let's go back 2 weeks, though, against the Watertown Shamrocks. Wasn't really the outcome that the Bruins were hoping for. Final series against Watertown this year. Ended up taking 3 points, which, aside from the 4 points, is the best case scenario. What would you say some major takeaways from the entire weekend are against Watertown?
Well, like first thing, I think, I said it the last time I was on. I know, Howie and Alice said it as well, that our division's so good that even though, Watertown was at the bottom of the standings in our division, like they're a good team. They've added some pieces. They play hard. And, we didn't play necessarily with our identity and the details that we've been hammering over the past 6 months now or something like that. And you don't play your best, you don't show up, and that's what happens is Watertown, everyone's a good enough team to beat anybody on any night. And they've added some good pieces, and they took advantage of a night that we didn't show up on. I think Saturday was a much better game. We started to get back to those details, started to get back to our identity and playing hard and playing heavy and being a detailed team, which we pride ourselves on being. And when we do that, we're really hard to beat. So, just trying to find some consistency coming off this Christmas break where guys went home for 9-10 days and trying to get back to showing up who we are every night like we were before then.
And you mentioned that Christmas break, and that was something that Coach Howard and I talked about the last Coaches Show, was you came off of that Christmas break, then you have the series in Watertown, and then the following weekend, another weekend off, and we were talking about how that might affect the series against Watertown, and it kind of appeared to affect the team, allowing 3 unanswered goals in the first period. Do you think similarly on now that we have those Christmas break and that weekend off, now it's a little bit more consistency? Do you see the team kind of getting back into that rhythm and playing the hockey they did over that 21-game point streak?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you look at that point streak, and guys arrived in September. We had them here a week in August, and through every day that they 6 out of the 7 days that we're practicing, they're hearing our message and from us and then from their teammates of being hard on certain details and executing certain ways, and then you go home for 10 days, and so you hear that every single day for six months, and then you go home for 10 days, you're with your family, it's a distraction, you lose some of those habits, and then you're having an off weekend, and you're not saying not in the mindset, but it takes time to be that, be detailed again. But at this point, you guys have been home for about a month, and I think last Saturday against Aberdeen that we really played to our identity. We started getting those details back in our game, and I think practice was great today. For example, we had a great practice today, and I really believe that we're going to keep those details going.
Going back one last time to that Watertown weekend, one guy who really stood out, who had been quiet as of recent, was Gustav Svantesson. Had the game-tying goal Friday night late in the third period, cleaned up a shot from Tyler Shaver, and then the following night had a shorthanded goal. Svantesson is one who he's a special teams goal scorer. In fact, only one even-strength goal on the year for him. Couple of power plays, now a shorthanded. Talk about his performance that weekend and how he's been playing as of recent.
Yeah, Gus, I mean, anyone who's seen him play knows he's fast. That he's got some good feet and he can get up and down the ice. And especially when we're a forechecking team, his feet can really come in handy of him being F1 on the forecheck. And sometimes where he ends up being quieter is maybe he's not playing with the heaviness that we have. We're finishing checks, we're getting to the net front, especially his game. And when he has that in his game, like he did that weekend, he's really productive and really good for us and really fun to watch. And it's becoming more and more consistent, and when he has it, he's great. But he's a great asset for us, and his feet are something special. He can get in on that puck.
Now, talking about that shorthanded goal, Bruins are now up to, I believe it's 6 shorthanded goals on the year this year. Had one this past weekend against Aberdeen. Alex Lorenza with his second shorthanded goal of the year. Let's talk about the penalty kill. I mean, I know you focus a little bit more on the power play side. Al Rooney's the guy who focuses on the PK. But you're a former defenseman, so you understand really what it means to be on the PK. And the Bruins PK over the last 4 games, killing 25 of 27, and actually, excuse me, that's a correction, 25 of 27 in the month of January here in 2025. 0 power play goals on 10 opportunities against the Shamrocks, and then stopping all 11 against Aberdeen this past weekend. 2 shorthanded goals. A great run here for the PK. What's been working well on the penalty kill?
I mean, there's a few things. As one is, we pride our penalty kill on that. We're going to bring pressure. We're gonna force them to make plays before they want to make them and make them uncomfortable. And you mentioned the shorthanded goals, and that's a big part of it. Where whether it's in our PK forecheck, to where Al gives our guys freedom to pressure, the power play early on their breakout, which, creates some turnovers. You can throw the power play off. And when you have a PK like that, that's aggressive, especially on the forecheck, it just gets really frustrating. The way that guys battle hard, and especially the way that Carl, has been playing on Saturdays, that when he's looking like that and playing and making some of those big saves, and, our PK is hard to stop. PK is very hard to stop or hard to beat.
And you and I have talked off mic. I've talked with Al about this as well. Is the staff's goal with special teams, or at least for the penalty kill, 85%. Try to be in the top 10 of the league. Well, after this weekend, both of those things have come to fruition for the Bruins PK. Talk about what has led, I guess, to this consistency on the PK over the last couple weekends.
Well, I think it's just, you're not going to be perfect every night. And what you hope for is, when you lack in some areas, that other guys pick it up. And, throughout the PK, times where, the PKs looked really well and battled really well and, been dominant, and the times where they've been okay, then Carl's taken over and made some big saves, or you've had some guys make some big clears, or, cover for other guys. And, getting back once again, coming off of that break, we're starting to settle back in and get back those habits of when we want to pressure, how we want to pressure, starting to block some more shots and clean up those details that when, PK's detailed and they're keeping you outside and they're bringing pressure, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat, and Al's got them doing that right now.
And now focusing a little bit more on Aberdeen. Aberdeen's power play has really struggled as of recent, and really during the season. As of recently, going 0 for 9 against Minot 2 weeks ago, going 0 for 11 as we mentioned this past weekend. 4 straight games against Aberdeen. So this last weekend with the 2 games, now 2 more coming up in Aberdeen this weekend. How do you see that affecting the special teams for both teams? Obviously, you guys have seen Aberdeen now recently, first time since November, getting them back-to-back weekends. Same with Aberdeen with the Bruins. And what adjustments do you think they'll make? What adjustments do you think you guys will make that will really lead to maybe special teams affecting the games this weekend?
Well, they're definitely going to have an effect on the games this weekend. I mean, especially Aberdeen and Langer. They've always had really good special teams and really good 5-on-5 teams. And it was a weird weekend in a sense where, we didn't feel we gave them our best game on Friday. And we know they didn't give us their best game on Saturday. So where there was a lot of power plays, it didn't really change the course of the game like special teams will. And I expect this weekend, we expect this weekend that, we're going to show up Friday and Saturday night, and they're going to do the same. And when both teams do that, it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a hard-fought game. It's going to be a game that's really hard to score on 5-on-5, and that's where the power play is going to have to come in. And hopefully for us that, we come out on top, and our power play or special teams inch out theirs and help contribute us to get the 4 points this weekend.
And you mentioned the play of Carl Axelson as of recently. He's struggled since really taking on that number one role here in 2025 after the exodus of Jack Solomon. And it's kind of been the back and forth, as we've mentioned with the teams, a Friday loss and then a Saturday shutout. 2 weekends in a row. He's really bounced back Saturday. What have you seen from Carl's play, and what has really led to that Saturday night bounce back?
Well, how he always talks about it, and it's consistency, and that was really what we've been trying to preach, and something that we, became really consistent as a team through that 21-game point streak, and we're getting back to, and for him taking over that number one role, where he didn't have that role in Sioux Falls, and now he's here with us, and he has Jack, and he's not in the, he's more, we have more of a 1A, 1B, and now he's in that number one role, and it's, you got to find a way to perform every night, and I don't think anyone has any doubts that he can perform. He can definitely perform, and he's just got to, he's getting comfortable and having the mental toughness and the mental focus to be good every day in practice, and that leads into being good in every game. So as he continues to be the number one and grow into that role, we expect that his consistency will continue to grow and grow and grow, and we're really happy to have him here in Austin.
And it seems like it's been a theme these last couple Coaches Show episodes where I've chatted about a new player to the Austin Bruins. It was a news that broke early last week that the Austin Bruins made a trade for Amarillo Wranglers forward Trace Day, the Bruins exchanging 2 tenders and 2 future draft picks. Day was on the Wranglers, as I mentioned, who still are in last place in the South Division. In his second season, had 62 games, 33 points with Amarillo, 6 multi-point performances this year, 5+ shots 7 times this year. His stats really showed that he could be successful on a team that wasn't as successful, and Bruins fans got to witness him for the first time in person this weekend. He hit a couple posts, had a couple of chances on both the power play and even strength. Talk about Trace, what he brings to this team, and really the addition, you as the head of the power play, of adding him to that power play unit.
Yeah, bringing him in, we have a lot of good forwards and a lot of guys who help pull the rope and help contribute to us winning, and wanted to add another scorer, a guy who could bring some scoring to the table, and we did with Trace. I think he was their leading power play point getter in Amarillo. He has, I think, 15 goals by now. He just told me the other day, or this morning we were doing video, that Friday night broke his 15-game point streak, and he's somebody who can score. He's somebody who can rip the puck. I think he hit that crossbar Saturday night on the power play off the rush, and that's something that, we can find a way to get that off with some space. It's going to be something that's going to be really effective for us. In addition to that, he's a big kid. He's a big kid, and he's fast, and mentioned identity a few times, and how important that is we see he's somebody that not just can score and produce, but somebody that can match your identity, somebody that can be on the forecheck, that can play heavy, that can get to the net. There's a chance he gets a chance to rip it, he can rip it and put it in. So we're really happy to have him, and we're watching his games this weekend. And once again, I mentioned we did video this morning, and especially Saturday, you go start watching, and you're like, okay, well, there was a grade A chance. Yeah, there was a grade A chance. Yeah, he was getting a little frustrated because he knows just had 3 or 4 breakaways, but just telling him, hey, like, new team, you're still figuring out our systems and our structure, and we're a pretty structured team, and figuring those things out, it's a good sign that you're getting those chances. They're going to go. And he was like, yep. So we're excited to have him here and continue to, learn our game and pick up what we've been working on for the past 6 months, and he's got to pick it up in 6 days. So, no, he's been doing great, and we're happy to have him, and he's a great presence in the locker room, and the guys seem to really take to him.
He's one of those. The first time I met him, I was walking by the locker room to go record something else, and I I was going to introduce myself to him as I do with all the new players, and he stuck out his hand first. He's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm Trace." And I said I was the broadcaster. Smile on his face, immediately started talking to me, forgot what he was about to do. He's got that personality, even after the game, and he's one of those guys who he can take a joke. I made the joke after the game. I was like, I don't know what they do down in the South, but hitting posts and crossbars don't count as goals here, because he just had so many this past weekend, and he's a good sport about it. Talked with him on Goal Line to Goal Line this week about the weather difference. He's been in the South for so long. I mean, and that's something that you're familiar with as well, where you've been struggling with the cold up here, and have you gotten adjusted yet?
I have. That week, I think about a week and a half ago, where it was negative 11. Like, that was kicking my butt a little bit, but no, but outside of that, it's settled in. Got some warmer clothes for Christmas, so that came in handy, and I've been getting warm. But
have you finally gotten an ice scraper for your car yet?
No, I haven't.
I've been telling him since September that he needs an ice scraper because you'll need it in October here, and he still doesn't have one. Luckily, he's got me as a roommate, so I sometimes scrape his car for him. But talking about the South, I want to just quick toss this in there because you were talking about it before we came on the air. Aberdeen's assistant coach, Eric Hirschalt, you have some ties with him back to your North Carolina days. Yeah,
growing up in Charlotte. He grew up in Greensboro, which is about an hour away. We grew up training together in the summers. And so going back home, same home rink, played for the same program with it was TPH Thunder at the time, but now it's Nashville Junior Predators. So we've known each other for a long time. So it's kind of, I enjoy playing against them and seeing him, and that's always fun knowing that. Hey, I grew up with this guy. I've known him for I think 8 years now, something like that. And no, it's like, I'm excited to see him this weekend, and hopefully we're able to beat him a little bit.
And one final thing before we wrap up here on this edition of the Coaches Show. I've been running it into the ground for the last month, and you can see it here on your screen right now. Paint the Rink Pink. Obviously, everyone's excited for Paint the Rink Pink. You and I haven't been able to experience one in person yet. Paint the Rink Pink tickets, easy for me to say, are still available at tickets.austinbruins.com or by calling the Bruins front office at 507-434-4978. You are not able to use Flex tickets for Paint the Rink Pink night. It is only online or by phone, and those tickets will sell out, so make sure you get yours today. Paint the Rink Pink night. What are you most excited for?
Well, the easy answer is the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. You hearing how it being sold out, and the ice is pink, and you're playing for a pretty special cause, for the fight against cancer, and the amount of people that have been affected by that, the atmosphere and the amplitude of the game, it's something that I'm excited for, and I've heard so much about and how great of a night it is. Side answer, all the skits that the players have to do after the game. I am excited to see who's got some comedic talent, or maybe something other than that. But the atmosphere I'm expecting to be, looking forward to, and I want to see some of those skits too.
Now, is the coaching staff putting anything together, or are we going to put something together to surprise people? It's not much of a surprise now if we say yes, but should we?
I don't know. We'll have to get Al Rooney on that.
We'll have to see if we can get Al Rooney to sing, because we know he's a big singer, big dancer in the background.
He likes to be the center of attention.
If there's one person who loves talking to people and being the center of attention, it's our friend Al Rooney, Mr. Wonderful. But that is it on another edition of the Austin Bruins Coaches Show. Robby Murray, thanks for joining me this week.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. And the Bruins on the road against the Aberdeen Wings, both on Friday and Saturday. Puck drop 7:15. You can catch those games over at NAHLTV.com, or you can head to the official the official road game destination for the Austin Bruins, Lansing Corners. They'll be showing the games on their TVs over there, so get over there, enjoy some fun, or some great food, some drinks, and a fun atmosphere over at Lansing Corners for this weekend's games. Otherwise, Paint the Rink Pink is next week. Get your tickets at tickets.austinbruins.com for another edition of the Coaches Show. We'll see you next week.